How do? Somebody the other day, when I go up onto the pit site, said it looked like Blair Witch. So that was the Blair Witch start to the video. Another little vlog, subscribers question. Got a lot of questions at the minute, so I'm going to do 2 a day. Yeah, put one out about 2 o'clock, one about 6 o'clock at night. 10-minute little clips. What I have realised is these little clips, you know, make people smile. Seeing Stevie, he's not here at the minute, it's a bit warm for him. He'll be on the video tonight. Yeah, but yeah, these little clips brighten people's days. Obviously, seeing a charming young man like myself, good old Yorkshire sense of humour works wonders. Can't do that, never been able to raise my eyebrows. So, subscribers question. On funeral escorts, are prisoners handcuffed all the time? So I've done a vlog on funeral escorts a while ago. I will endeavour, with my fantastic technical skills, to put the link in the description. Yeah, I will be able to do that. That's about as far as my technical abilities go. So are they handcuffed all the time? I've been on 4 funeral escorts. That's not a privilege at all. On reflection on my prison career, 3 of them will probably rate definitely my top 10, maybe top 5 most uncomfortable moments as a prison officer. By the time I was 21, buried lots of aunts and uncles, you know, all the old boys who went off to war, and all the lasses who hung about waiting for him to come back. Fair share. At 20, I buried my mum, 38 years old. Absolutely tragic. So I know all about funerals. Knowing that, and sadly a lot of you have been to funerals of your loved ones, imagine being handcuffed to somebody who has lost a close relative. So funerals, close family, mum, dad or siblings, that's it. No nanan, you know, no cousin, nothing like that. Immediate family is what they say. There was a lad at Strangeways on the healthcare whose nanan had brought him up from a few months old. She died. Absolutely, the lad was devastated, and the chaplain, everybody, got the IMB involved, Independent Monitoring Board, everybody I could think, you know, to try and get that lad out. It didn't happen, no chance. Weren't his birth mum, couldn't go on the escort. That's shocking, that, you know. Somebody somewhere should be able to make a decision on that. For me, it's a no-brainer. Somebody's brought someone up, you know, before they even had memories. Terrible. Anyway, are they handcuffed? 3 of the 4 I went on, 1, I was handcuffed to the prisoner. The second one I was IC, which means I was in charge. And the third one I was hired muscle, as it were. What do I mean by that? The third one, one of the escort staff, that was their specific job. He was IC in charge. He was a regular on the externals group. They do the courts and hospitals and things like that. The other lad I knew really well, more of a lover than a fighter. So the IC in charge made the decision, you know, bald-headed Yorkshire lad, he's a lot bigger than you and a lot tougher, and if it turns a bit nasty, I don't want him cuffed to the prisoner. That's not me bigging myself up. And many a true word said in jest, because that was, it was a shocker. I've described it before. It was a big funeral. There was an angry mob. And to say my bum cheeks were squeezed together pretty much throughout, I'll tell you exactly what I was thinking and what it was like. So the fourth one. When I look back now on my career, the things that I think about now, you know, to some people, they won't be disturbing, they mean nothing. This, again, will be in the top 5 harrowing events. I'm not talking about deaths in custody, people harming themselves in front of me, dirty protests and the like, getting kitted up to go and fight people who you don't really want to go and fight. None of that. It's a funeral escort. First thing I'll say about this, the lad, first time in prison. While I'm reflecting on this, I'll just show you a view of Outwood Park. So yeah, this lad, he got 4 weeks. I don't know whether he got a 4-week sentence or 4 weeks to serve. When I actually met him, I picked him up from the chapel. He was with Henry, the chaplain. I took him down to reception. I will be cuffed to him for the funeral. The funeral was for a young baby, around about 6 months old. He was made worse by the staff there, but it's not about the staff. This is about the family of that child. So I'm just going to take you straight to the graveside. It was me cuffed to the lad. 4 weeks to serve or a 4-week sentence. He's not a high risk. Yeah, he's first time in prison. Somebody should have made a decision on compassionate ground. They could have released him from custody. Tag him, do whatever. So his first sentence, very short. He's obviously not a danger to the public, and he's cuffed at a 6-month-old baby's funeral is. So it was a proper sad state of affairs at the graveside. There's him, there's a young lass, obviously, they were in love. You know, he's cuffed to me. You know, he can't hug her, can't comfort her, can't stand with her. We stood opposite sides of the grave. I did ask him whether he wanted to go around the other side. There was the guy doing the service. It was a lovely service. There's a couple of 3 other people. To be honest, there might have been 4 or 5. I don't know. I'm looking at her. I'm stood opposite her. She's in bits, 6-month-old. Here it is. I'm cuffed to her partner. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. For me, if I'd have been IC, yeah, I'd have been in charge of that, I'd have taken the cuffs off. No risk. I'd have made that decision. It's easy for me to say that now, isn't it, years after, but I would. I've done it in hospital before. In hospital, when I've removed cuffs, always when you're removing cuffs, changing cuffs or whatever, should get permission from the prison and from the governor. Dynamic security. Those lads I've taken the cuffs off, I knew them, they're not getting off. Yeah, I knew that. If I didn't know them, I wouldn't have been removing the cuffs. It brings me on to other things. First, a lad who I really did like in the prison service, an officer who'd been in a long time, way longer than me. Way longer than me. Proper hard lad. Not many about, I've told you before. I can think of 10 offhand that will come. I could maybe get up to 2 dozen. I'm talking about prison officers where any prisoner, said get in my cell, they'd go in the cell and they'd have it one-on-one. Not bring your mates in and boot the living daylights out of someone. I'm on about a stand-up fight. But he was a gent. He was a proper gent. And I liked him. And he was not one for making up war stories. So he told me about a funeral escort he went on. It was a Cat A prisoner. And his mum had died. The decision, this is a long time ago, the decision was made at the last minute to let him go and see his mum just before they buried her. So this officer were on the escort, he knew him well. Chapel arrest, a few minutes on their own. He took the cuffs off, that was on his toes. You know, again, I've no doubt dynamic security. He did know the lad really well. Probably a mutual respect. Again, that would have been on officer's toes, but he took the cuffs off. The lad obviously got very upset. Hugged his mum. Said his goodbyes. He said at one bit, he did think he was going to have to drag him out, you know, drag him away from his mum. Which, you know, I can fully understand that. So yeah, empathy and understanding from a proper hard man. I liked him, probably one of the few true gentlemen hard men that I came across. Then it got me thinking, on a bit of a lighter note, when you go out on hospital escorts, when you go outside the prison taking prisoners to hospital and the like, bed watchers, basically a bed watch, I would go on shift, there'll be a prisoner cuffed to an officer in a bed for whatever reason, depending upon risk. Low risk, 2 officers. High risk, another officer. I went on bed watch where there were 8 officers in full riot gear. So now, again, where I am now, looking back, can't have been good for staff. Imagine you're a ward sister. Because where possible, they will put prisons inside wards, but it weren't always possible. I've done bed watches on a ward of like 12 people. So imagine you're the ward sister, yeah? You care, 2 area screws or 3, laughing and joking, eating butties, reading papers, cuffed to somebody in the middle of your ward. It's going to be uncomfortable, isn't it? It's going to be uncomfortable for staff. It's going to be uncomfortable for patients. I think a lot of people are nervous around prison officers. You know, for me, the focus was always on me. I don't mean me personally. You know, if we took someone for an x-ray, you're sat down with them, cuffed to them, the public could be looking at you, eyeballing you, not them. Perhaps they were scared at looking at them, I don't know. So yeah, it's an uncomfortable position to be in. So maybe if people reacted like they did, because they felt awkward, didn't know what to say, didn't know what to do, and the circumstances. So there you go. A little bit serious, that one. Hope it's been a bit informative. I'll have the boy out tonight and we'll do one on a lighter note. Okay guys, parting shot today is Outwood Park. My boy's at home, bit warm for him. That house there, it's the old pit master's house. Gaffer of the pit, loft house colliery, beautiful. There you go guys, Outwood Park. Thanks for coming. I'll see you there.